Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2-year anniversary episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Deb.
And I'm Maria.
And welcome to our podcast. It's for the realistic SLP.
Yeah. Hell.
Cheers. Thanks for spending the last 2 years with us.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Deb, thanks for spending the last 2 years with me.
Mm-hmm.
With each other, man. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Not a problem. Happy to do it. I've thoroughly enjoyed this podcast journey. I've loved watching it grow. I've loved the energy it gives me. And I just look forward to more and more seasons of SLP's Wine and Cheese.
Same here. I would like to second that. All those feelings I feel as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, I also want to be obvious and be like, I learned so much about wine.
Right. Yeah.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did not expect this in my life, you know?
Well, I didn't learn enough about wine. I think I knew as much as we've learned. I think I've known just from working in restaurants, and I'm looking forward to our upcoming wine episode where we're going to get taught about wine.
Well, you spoke and the universe answered because we have 2 wine companies that we're talking to right now. So it's happening. All the things we've been putting out in the universe.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. So, just, I don't know, being a part of the show is really not something I ever expected for myself, but I'm so happy I did. I didn't even give it a second thought. It just, the minute you asked me, let's do a podcast, I was like, why not? No doubts. Like, it just seemed like such a great idea, and I've never looked back from that initial run. Like, never look over my shoulder. Like, am I glad I'm in this race? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in this race.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I know lots of people who have podcasts, mostly comedians, and it's tricky to keep it going for so long because maybe like one person's more into it than the other person, but we've been quite lucky with our equal partnership. So I think that's what the key is to making any sort of collaboration last.
And also, speaking of collaboration, I like that word. We communicate very well with each other, you and I. I feel like we're constantly talking, and it's funny. Like, I thought of you, and I was like, Deb never wanted glasses, and now here you are with glasses.
Yeah, well, no, I did want glasses. Every time I go, they always,
Yes, you wanted glasses, and I was putting contacts in. I was like, I can't believe Deb wants glasses,
Yeah, I always do, and I feel like I need them. And every time I go to the eye doctor, they're like, you see fine. I'm like, but what about my feelings? Like, can't this be like my IEP? Like, what do I want from my education? Like, what do I want from my eyesight? And what I feel is that I can't see as well as you say that I can.
Right.
But now I have these blue light glasses, and I'm into it.
I'm into it as well.
I have to avoid the impulse to buy several pairs.
Yes, do avoid that impulse because you just got to keep wearing these and getting used to this and play around with this one look, reinvent this look with a hat. Have you tried a hat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to overheat in my house. I have committed to wearing all the sweaters in my closet. So I'm here like in a sweater turtleneck well, you're wearing a sweater too.
I'm wearing velour, girl.
Oh, yeah? Fancy.
I'm wearing velvet.
Nice.
Velvet, yes.
My chair is velvet. My couch behind me is velvet. I'm into velvet too.
I mean, who's not?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Last year was the velvet year.
So what are you drinking, Maria?
Yeah, I am drinking this wine. So I am drinking dry rosé because it's officially rosé season.
I love dry rosé. I don't have any right now, but I love it.
But I stumbled upon, I'm glad that you said that because this is how I acquired this fine wine here. I was planning to go hiking with Sal and another couple, and we went to go hiking to Breakneck Ridge, which is in upstate New York, I want to say. I should know. Near Hudson Valley. And they closed the mountain. So then we just started like walking around and like stumbled upon this place that was called Ben Marl Winery. And we just pulled up. We're like, do you have wine? It's like 5:00. We've been walking around all day.
It's wine time.
And they were like, yeah, we got wine. And I got some wine. And that was
Sweet.
like a treat to go out and be able to get wine. It's like, I don't know. It's like the prohibition or something. Like,
You found a speakeasy in the mountains.
yes, I did. I was like, absolutely. They had a gazebo. We were like hanging out on the gazebo. It was great times.
Nice. Do you like taking long car rides?
Not particularly, but Sal likes to drive.
Ah.
That's his hobby.
Yeah, a couple times Mike's like, "Do you want to go to this park in Queens?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, no." But there is this really nice park that we have been going to in Queens. It's like by St. John, so it's like 20 minutes from my house. So it's really nice. It's called Forest Park, and it's like a very wooded area, and it's not like densely populated. So
Oh,
it's
that's
been
good.
cool. But yeah, I just have not had the urge. I know lots of people are going stir crazy being on sheltering in, and I don't feel that. I think I just like my new apartment so much. I just want to stay here.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I do appreciate a nice fresh air, though, sometimes. Sometimes I just want to go to the door and get some fresh air, like in between sessions. Like, I need some air.
Yeah, well, the back door to my backyard is right here, so I do that too. Like, even if I like, let's say somebody finishes their activity and it's at like 53, and the next or 55, and the next section is at like the whole hour. You know, like maybe it's 2:55, and then the next one's at 3. I'll say goodbye and I'll go outside for 2 minutes, and then I'll come back in.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. So, wait, I didn't tell you what I was eating, though, right?
Oh yeah, what are you eating?
Wine and cheese. I had I had it already. I didn't save any for the show because I just wanted to eat it all. I had Parmesan with Ritz with capicol. Do you know capicol?
Do I know what that is?
No. Yes. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, like cold cuts.
Yes, it is. And I have never ever heard of that word before dating an Italian. So there it is, everyone. It's cured meat.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yes. It's very salty though, cured meat in general. So I can't have too much.
I think that's why you're supposed to have it with like mozzarella cheese, like something very bland to ease it out.
I had Parmesan and Ritz.
Parmesan's pretty salty too, and so are Ritz. So you just did salt overload. You might want to have some water.
I have water right here.
Very nice, very nice.
And, yeah. So tell me, what are you drinking?
So I signed up in this time of quarantine, self-quarantine. I signed up for one of those monthly wine deliveries from Wick, and they're not a sponsor yet, but I'm hoping so. They sent me this very appealing wine. It is called Lost Poet. And it says wine is poetry, XX Atticus. It's a 2018 red blend. Wick is the proud partner with author Atticus, a young anonymous writer whose personal interest in wine has been expressed throughout his work. He works directly with Wick director of winemaking, Ryan Zodovich, to create Lost Poet. And on the back it says, watch carefully the magic that occurs when you give a person just enough comfort to be themselves, XX Atticus. So I'm obsessed. I think I love the idea of poetry, and I love the idea of notes. I love notes and poetry. And that's what this is. And wine. Notes, poetry, and wine. So sign me up. I vote drink it.
That sounds creepily how good it is. It's like, well, I think that's because everyone's tracking our phone usage. So this is like perfect marketing for you. So
I know. Well, I have bought some other wine online. So whatever data they stole from me, they definitely found out that I would be a good candidate. The Instagram also knows I'm interested in baby accessories and these blue glasses and bras of every sort. I guess that's what I shop for. Wine, baby stuff, glasses, and bras.
I'm gonna have to raise you with tie-dye. I've been looking on Pinterest for tie-dye.
You've been into tie-dye.
I've been into upcycling.
Mm-hmm.
I take my pants because I heard that one of the reasons that there is so much pollution is because of clothing. So pants that I was just going to donate, and then I heard on this minimalism podcast that those clothes that you donate end up in the landfill anyway. So I was like, oh no. So I got
Why do they end up in the landfill?
I don't know. They just the story ended there. So
well, I donate to a thrift shop and a church, so I don't think they're throwing it out.
That's a
Just
good idea.
be mindful of who you're donating to. Don't just throw it in a box on like by a gas station.
But maybe those people really need it too. I don't know. Someone's at a gas station one day and they're like, I wish I had some more.
Well, the box is like a mailbox. You can't go in it.
Oh, right. Those. Yeah.
I heard those are bad because they like sell that those clothes by the pound or something. I don't know.
Wow.
This is not researched, folks.
Anyway, I have like pants that I don't want, so I made them shorts and I made a heart with them. And Sal tried making Voldemort, out of bleach. So you make it a fun craft. Maybe I'll throw them out after a second wear now. So I just extended the life and I had fun doing it. So why not?
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. Cheers to that. Cheers to upcycling.
Yes.
So I'm drinking. Yep. One thing I wanted to talk about. So this is episode 88. It's our 2-year anniversary of SLP's Wine and Cheese. We started May 7th, 2018. 18.
Yes.
Because then 19 was 1 and then 2. Yeah. So yeah, this is episode 88, which is 1988 is the year that Maria and I were born. And if anyone recalls from our first season, this was in 2018. That's when we were turning 30. So it just seems like this podcast has had a lot of significance to us personally, and also maybe in terms of fate, who knows. So I thought I would do some research on like the Chinese zodiacs. And so 1988 is the year of the dragon. The next one is 2024, and the last one was 2000. This happens every 12 years. They rotate. Anyone born in 88, the lucky numbers are 1, 6, and 7. I always say my lucky numbers are 7, 12. So I'll take 6, even though I like 2 instead. But our lucky days are the 1st and the 16th of the Chinese lunar calendar, which is like also payday. But I don't know how much different the Chinese calendar is to my calendar. So I don't know. Lucky colors are gold, silver, and grayish. I like gold. I've been picking gold. Flowers are the bleeding heart glory and the dragon flower. And then the personality traits are confident and intelligent. And then it goes a little bit further to say that if you are a Cancer, which is a water sign, you're a Cancer dragon. Yep, that's us. You're persevering, farsighted, and vigorous. So maybe that is also what has like lended itself to us maintaining this podcast journey. We're most compatible with the rat, the tiger, and the snake. We're worst with the ox, the goat, and the dog. And the last thing I wanted to bring up is 2020 is the year of the rat.
Yes.
So we are compatible with those born this year and every 12 years before and after this.
Interesting. My least favorite animal in the whole universe.
I thought so. All like rodents, or rat is number 1, mouse is number 2. What?
Yeah, like that.
Rat is number 1.
Mm-hmm. I don't even want to talk about it. So anyway, we want to talk about our goals and aspirations for the podcast. So I was going to go first, Deb, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So I want to build more of a sense of a community, maybe in the SLP world or just in the world in general. This no labels to that, just more of a sense of a community, and whatever that looks like, it looks like. I want to create more like products like t-shirts and like COVID masks and like
Paris Hilton, that's hot, or it'll say drink it for us.
It's gonna say SLP's wine and cheese. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the shirt, your ego is not your amigo.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that. I want to just like keep creating stuff.
So you want more of a community, more merchandising. Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
And I want to open up the podcast for a place for people to get their stories out. Like I was reading this interesting story in ASHA where it's like SLPs in grad school. They're helping women who are in prison with their children, and they're like SLP, the grad students are like coaching the mom and learning and like teaching the mom strategies, and just, I don't know. I never ever thought of that before. And like, stories like that, or even just any story. If someone has a great story, they want to get it out. Like, let's put it on the podcast, right?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. And it goes along with one of my goals. So love
Oh,
it.
cool. I'm going to drink now. So,
Yeah. So those are great goals. I have a lot of similar goals to Maria. I would like to diversify our guests on the show. I love having SLPs, but I also, anytime I polled people and they were like, and I was like, why don't you listen? Is it because you don't listen to podcasts, or you don't want any more speech in your life, or you're just not interested? What is it? And most people are like, I do speech all day. I don't want to like come home and listen to speech therapy. So what I would like to brand the podcast more towards is so like-mindedness. So because we're all speech pathologists, like you might like this is in the sense that it's something that you have in common, but that does not necessarily mean that like that's the subject matter that we'll always be talking about. But maybe we'll always revert back to it, or building that community that you mentioned.
sounds amazing. I'm going to drink some more wine. That's what I think.
Yeah, something like that. So like if you're an SLP, you might be into this.
Gotta unscrew that cap before I pour it.
Good job, Maria. Well done. I would
celebration before, I'm so excited for us for 2 years. Our
yeah.
birthday. We're 2 years old.
We're 2 years old. We are going to be 32 this year.
Yes, we don't have to talk about that. We could move on to your goals, Deb. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like other than like that's my most entertaining goal. My other goals are like I want to find new avenues for promotion of the podcast to reach a more broad and diverse audience. And finally, I would like to get like some more collaborations happening.
Collaborations.
Yeah, like in terms not just with like people sending wine, like who if they do send wine, I'd like to have them on the show and they talk about the wine and teach us about wine. If we have a sponsor, I'd like them on the show and then like talking to us about like how they started, because like so many people have ideas, and to me, I think ideas are great, but like action is really where it's at. So I'd like to know, like, how'd you go from idea to action? How'd that happen? And maybe like motivate others who just need a little bit of a push to get things accomplished that they have in mind.
Or inspiration. Maybe people just need some inspiration, I love
Absolutely.
Goals, Deb. Those are great.
Thank you.
Goals.
Your goals are swell as well.
Oh, why thank you for that. Yeah, I think that's all we wanted to talk about on this episode, right?
I suppose. I don't know. Do you have an outline?
Yeah, we want to say thank you now to everyone. Thank you to all of our listeners. Actually, something I want to reflect on, just like different people we've met at ASHA has been so awesome. So like anyone who's like come up to us at ASHA, like that was a moment for me that I was like, wow, this podcast is like doing something. Like I'm not, because in our perspective, we're just talking into a mic, Deb, and no one's answering but you and I.
Right, it's just us right now. I'm alone in this little room filled with plants.
Same here. Actually, same here. I have some plants here. I got beets growing. I got my mom beets for Mother's Day.
Nice.
But yeah.
I drew a picture of my sister, my mom, and myself. My mom's going to hate it. I'm looking forward to it arriving, and she has to put it on the wall.
Wow, you drew it?
Well, yeah. Awesome. It's fine, though. It's not great. She's going to be like,
Do you want to draw a picture of me?
Let's slow it down. I'm not really like a portrait drawer at this rate. I'm more like cartoons.
I like your drawings. Your drawings are cool, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess like since you mentioned like wow moments, what I've loved about the podcast so far, I loved when Sarah and Lisa came to the apartment and they recorded with us for our second episode. It was Chat and Sip with SLP Toolkit. That was a lot of fun. I loved ASHA Boston. I think that was like one of the most intense and cool times in my life. I think that Ash of Orlando was cool too, but I don't think it was as cool as Boston was.
Boston was my first time, so I like showed up as a first time with
Yeah.
a booth, with
Yeah.
a podcast. I was like, "Hey, I'm here." I never knew what this ever was.
Well, Ash at LA was my first, which was the year before that, but I just went as like somebody who attended. I didn't like do any, like I didn't go there with any intention. So, but Boston, I just felt like there was tons of people, tons of warmth. I felt like Orlando was cool, but it was like much bigger. So, and we still had people come see. We had a lot of people come see us at both, but I just felt like Boston. I was like, wow, this is insane. And then also our live event last year. I was hopeful that we would be able to do that this year, but unfortunately, due to current events, we cannot. So yeah, I'd have to say those are my top 3 wow moments.
You picked. I only got to say one. Now I feel like I.
All right. Well, what are your other wow moments?
All right. I was actually, because it was funny when I was mopping today. I was thinking about wow moments, and definitely the episode 3 with SLP Toolkit, because I didn't even.
That was episode
2.
Yeah, 3 is the perception and
Oh,
phonology.
yes.
That's like my favorite episode that I always send to people. It's
Oh,
like
really?
no editing and no music and one microphone, but still I like it a lot.
I think once we heard that we did that episode, we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can do
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. All right. So I want to think about like all the times I've driven home from the podcast. Like that
Right.
was definitely like my thinking time. Like,
yeah, because Maria would come to my apartment in Bed-Stuy from Staten Island. She'd come to my apartment in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, which is definitely like 45-minute drive to get there. And then maybe like probably 45 back, even if it was nighttime, because there'd still be construction and stuff. So Maria would leave, and I would always try to like edit and upload the podcast as soon as possible so that she can listen to it on her way home. I always would think like, like it's gotta suck to drive home, but like I hope I can put it up. So that's why most of our earlier episodes are really unedited. We only edited once we started getting sponsors because we had to like put commercials in.
Truth. But I didn't mind. I would drive home. I would talk on the phone, or I would put on music, or I would think about things we talked about, because we would always talk after the podcast too.
Yeah.
Intense
anything.
Topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything really.
Mm-hmm.
But and you were definitely there for me when I did my prompt project.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my own little journey into life.
All I did was say, "Stop it! Stop freaking out."
Yeah, and I had the podcast to kind of like, work through that,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So,
I definitely think it's been a creative and professional outlet, and I have enjoyed it immensely. And I'm like I mentioned, I look forward to it growing further and further. Yes. And if you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for listening. Please follow us on Patreon and follow us on Instagram and follow us on Facebook. Comment, tell us what you think. Tell us what you hate. You can DM us that. You don't have to make it so public. Actually, we haven't gotten any like hate ever. I would like some hate just so that like I knew what was not good. But
we've gotten some pushback. I guess I read that one, but I was cool with it. I was like, yes, we need to grow.
About ABA one time. Yeah.
Let's have another ABA episode. If you want to come on as an ABA person, I know actually a couple.
Either for or against it. We're going to have an ABA debate.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so do we have a quote or a mantra? You are like a glossary of them, so you probably go for this one, Deb.
I think we should just stick with the quote that's on my wine bottle.
Yeah, do it.
Watch carefully the magic that occurs when you give a person just enough comfort to be themselves. XX Atticus.
Cheers.
Cheers.